It's the final weekend of the Colorado Renaissance Festival, but it's not too late to take a look at some of the amazing women that they hired to perform here. Like what it's like to be a female-owned business in a world of entertainment that's dominated by male-owned businesses.
I think from the perspective of being strong women and getting to see a lot of girls in our audience and things, it's really nice, and we feel really good about what we're doing.
Do you see little girls watching you and like they want to be you when they grow up?
That's our main goal in our show, is to have little girls want to be dancers and be strong women. So,
yeah. I think we remember that from when we were little. We had so many fantastic strong women that were influencing us, and to be able to have just a modicum of that with other performers and other audience members and women in general is nice.
Can you tell me who influenced you, or is that too much?
I mean, I had a dance teacher when I was much younger. Her name was Deborah Miller, and she was such an influence to me.
She was my dance teacher as well. So
I also had influential dance teachers and female Renaissance Festival performers like Twig the Fairy and Sarah Mullen.
Oh, and Lolly Foy was the first queen that I ever got to see at a festival, and she was just so magical. She embodied everything that I wanted to be able to bring to other people.
That's great. Thanks, guys. That was really spot on. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Someone stole a joust sword, and you tackled them. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. He hurdled the joust field fence and grabbed the sword and ran out and hurled it back right in front of me, and I was like, oh man. And it was my husband's favorite sword, you know, like a $400 sword, of course. And I chased him. He was a drunk patron who thought it would be funny, so he was like brandishing the sword running up the hill. I got a hold of him by the back and I grabbed his shirt and it ripped in two, and he kept running. And so I played soccer growing up, so all I know how to do is kick. So I kicked him in the back of the legs, and the way that it worked out, like I jumped on top of his back and he fell as I was jumping on him, so it ended up with like me in a headlock and him on top of me.
And it went viral, right?
It did. There was a guy there who was taking video of the joust and photos, and he is affiliated with a bunch of news networks, and he saw this all go down and took pictures of what happened, and he sold it to a bunch of news networks. So I have family in England, and it ended up on the front page of their paper, and they called me and they were like, yeah, medieval wench tackles sword thief is on the front page of the paper. Are you this medieval wench?
You are a female-run and operated Renaissance act.
Original ideas when we started the Angels Festival was to give girls who attend the festival more role models and more things to see and more things to connect to, more characters, I guess, to connect to than like princesses and fairies. We're great, but not the only options. So we decided to be female heroes, and that has led us down this really interesting path of feminism in the Renaissance.
You just went to Europe all by yourself and busked for like an entire month, right? How was that?
It was fantastic. I was there for 4 weeks and I performed in 4 cities on the street, performing as well as a Renaissance fair there.
By yourself?
By myself.
Yeah.
It was very intimidating because I'm in a town where I don't know any of the language, I don't know any of the people, I don't know any of the cultures, and so I'm just going out there in a crazy costume trying to play some music, trying to share some music, so hoping that the art would speak for me.
Right. And so, did you ever feel that like working at a Renaissance festival, like did it help you in the streets of Europe?
It definitely did, because it prepares you for all sorts of different varieties of people, different kind of people, different people in different states of consciousness, let's put it that way.
If you had to give any advice to like a woman going out busking for the first time, what would it be?
Learn how to look very confident and move like you know where you're going.
Because this video focuses mainly on the women at this festival, Rob will not be present. If you had any advice for like an aspiring female performer trying to get into the Renaissance Festival world and break into it, like what would that advice be?
Well, can I put you guys on the spot? We have some right here, some young ladies here that actually want to learn how to play the drum, and that's one thing that we really try to promote is getting women to play more instruments and feel, because sometimes like drumming is very much a man's world, and people are always like, you could play drums? I'm like, yeah, I can.
Some advice be like, if you're working at a festival like you guys are, is to encourage other young women to come and ask.
Yes, like, always include, always try to help and share with each other, because the better we can support each other, support for one is support for all.
Asia has a dream to create a group called Hercussion eventually, with all of the female drummers from around the circuit.
Yeah,
I'd watch that show.
That sounds great.
You're the entertainment director here at the Colorado Renaissance Festival.
So they say.
Yeah, well, so you run a lot of things, you're in a position of power, and even though the festival is owned by 2 men, you're a woman kind of running all the entertainment. Can you tell me a little bit what that's like?
And sometimes you have to play a little bit of the muscle cards.
So when you are determining who is cast here at the Colorado Renaissance Festival, like what do you look for in an act? Do you look for like a variety of different things?
Jugglers, comedy, music, diversity.
And now, so you have another job where it's also a very intense job, and you're a 911 operator?
911 dispatcher, yep.
Wow, and so you have to, somehow you must compartmentalize just the, you know, the intensity of that and coming here to a joyous, fun atmosphere. How do you do it?
It's two different sides of the spectrum. So, you know, I have the 911 job, which I love, but it's complete chaos and complete stress. And then I come here and, yeah, it's stress. It's running a business, but you guys make me smile and laugh.
Do you ever feel like the skills you've acquired doing it like 911 dispatch ever felt like that helps you here?
Actually, it's kind of reverse. Oh, really? Yeah. You know, I learned my skills here, and then I kind of was able to... Sorry, my nose got up.
So you are the queen of the Renaissance Festival. Can you tell me what a day in the life of the queen is like?
For royalty, it's they're not all that interested in the history. It's more just like, oh, shiny, it's so shiny.
And people say God save the queen to you all day long?
Yes.
And who
or off with her head. It depends on the crowd.
Yeah. I guess. Which representation of royalty are you? What's your character?
Well, here we don't really necessarily focus a lot on the historical accuracy, so I'm Queen Anne, but I'm not that Anne, because then you get a lot of the jokes.
I see.
Yeah.
And what's the year?
We are roughly 15 from
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
No, and honestly, it all started with Danielle DuPont.
Yeah.
She's the one
who is she?
Danielle, she's a mama wench, and she's the one who dug a hole under the ground in the Renaissance Fair when she was like really young because she wanted to work there. And they're like, "Hey kid, you want a job?" She's like, "Great." And then boom, she started the wenches around a fountain because you know she started putting together the show, and then the one thing led to another, and then the show grew around the country, and now
she just hired women, actors, funny women.
Yeah, like she hired professional actors, you know, trained, and she always says she has great taste in women. And then wherever we are at different shows, we build the crowd.
That's great. And
and I think you're talking about male-dominated industry. The strength that this particular show has is that it specifically picks on male stereotypes, but it does it with love. We don't make fun of guys. We don't make fun of people. We give them an opportunity
to shine,
to be silly,
to do what they want to do,
fun, and make fun of themselves. And in the process, they end up a hero, and they like win a flower for their girl and all that. So we highlight everything that is male dominance, but in a way that makes it female dominated, and that's the twist that the show has.
Little twist.
Yeah.
And Colorado proves that just because this festival exists in the Renaissance, they don't hire women like it's the Renaissance. So come on out for the final weekend and check out some of these wonderful female performers.